Hi, I'm Craig Rosevere. Welcome to Location Lifestyle Living. On today's show, we visit a unique concept store in Newcastle. We meet a charismatic NBN News sports presenter. We talked about aged care, plus Kim and Chris give us some great staging ideas, and Olivia from Heritage is back with some gardening advice. We take a look through the agency's open home, but first, here's Naomi.
We're here with Jeff from the McCloy Group, and we're talking about Potters Lane and the Bower, two amazing projects up in Port Stephens. Now, Jeff, I hear that Potters Lane got its name from a very interesting event. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, there was a pottery on the site, and
wow,
for many years ago, and we like to bring the history of the sites into where we can. So we call it the pottery, and our entry statement is made up with natural stone and old timbers from the site.
Beautiful.
There are clay pots incorporated in the entry statement.
Your parks and your facilities to create communities and experiences are second to none. So what drives you to do that, Jeff?
Playgrounds, we like to build them early. We like to build them and show that they're there so that starts to form part of the community that they all understand.
I like it. You build for family.
Very much so.
That's perfect. Now I hear, Jeff, that at the Bower, the first two land releases at that site actually sold out within 24 hours.
Yeah, there was a lot of pent-up demand, and they camped out as they have over them.
They camped out?
Yeah, they camped out.
Literally?
I think we took them up Chinese or something for them to eat, and we've done that before at Dudley, and many years ago, quite often that we've had campouts.
Do you know what I love? Releases. You're not actually joking.
No doubt we do. We do that stuff.
That's amazing.
They needed a feed, so we gave them a feed.
Now, if that's not Novocastrian, I don't know what is. That's amazing. You know why they reckon they camped out there? They must have known about your 1 hectare park that is in that project that's soon to be finished.
It's a fantastic park in the middle, and we'll embellish that with play equipment and our normal public art, etc., etc. So it was well into the development, so we couldn't get to that early, but we're at it now, and it'll be a beautiful park when it's finished.
It'll be a special park. And I hear that's not the only thing that's big at this project. The block sizes, like the plot and land sizes, aren't what you would usually see.
Well, the public have a wide choice. Yep. They like sometimes very large blocks because they like to have boats and 4 cars and whatever else. Some people don't want to mow any lawns. So it's really appealing to our buyers. What category do they fit? And if we can accommodate them all, well, we try to.
I like it. Thank you so much for talking to me about Potters Lane and the Bower at Port Stephens.
Our pleasure.
Hey guys, here I am with Charlie Lunn from the agency Hunter Valley. Charlie, great to have you on the show.
Hi Craig, how are you? Great to be here.
Fantastic. It's just such a beautiful home. This looks fairly historic but classy at the same time. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's located in one of Maitland's most prestigious streets. You have the benefit of incorporating old with new without the old upkeep that the older homes have. A lot of historical features in this home. So the home has 5 bedrooms and a parents' retreat upstairs.
Very nice.
We're standing here in front of the barn.
Yep.
The barn has been built out of old kitchen slabs that have been pulled out of old kitchens in Maitland.
Very nice.
So that's the start of a little bit of the history about the property. The paths have old convict bricks that have been incorporated into the building as we go around, and lots of sandstone that's been pulled out of Maitland.
So it sounds like a lot of thought's gone into the design. And how old is the home?
The house was built in 1982 by Arthur and Graham Dean.
Wow, so it looks like an old house, but actually everything works.
Yeah, correct.
I'm really excited to go have a look. Let's go and have a look through.
Okay, great, let's go.
Wow, Charlie, this is an amazing backyard.
It is, Craig. It's over an acre of park-like grounds.
Fantastic. I can see a horse running around next door.
There's not too many properties where you get a horse in the backyard next door.
Absolutely. And alfresco dining area right there as well, Charlie.
Beautiful alfresco dining area that leads through to the kitchen and the formal lounge room. Formal lounge room has a dual fireplace which opens to the beautiful cedar staircase.
Nice.
And the cedar staircase and all the doors in the property, Craig, are all from recycled cedar that has been procured from historic properties here in Maitland.
A lot of thought's gone into the design.
A lot of love, a lot of thought, a lot of care to restore all the cedar throughout the property.
Yeah, it's got a real warmth to it as well.
It does, and you've got beautiful big bedrooms. None of these pokey little rooms, lots of storage. The master bedroom opens to the verandas. Upstairs, you've got this versatile room, which is where we are now, that leads out to this. This room has a formal lounge room, bedroom, study, bathroom, so it could be a parent's retreat or a teenage retreat.
Yeah, plenty of options.
Plenty of options.
Well, Charlie Lund, great to have you on the show.
Craig, thanks for having me.
Location Lifestyle Living. We'll be right back after the break. Hey guys, here I am with Kylie Jakes, Marketing Manager with Anglican Care. Kylie, great to have you on the show.
Hi Craig, nice to meet you. Welcome to Scenic Lodge.
It is scenic, and I'll tell you what, it looks like a holiday resort.
I know, it's one of our fabulous residential aged care homes. We've got 12 across the Hunter, Mid-Coast and Central Coast.
Yep.
And beautiful downtown Merewether.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic, and a bunch of activities to do. I can see we've got like a bowling green here, maybe a little bit of putt-putt golf.
We have a fantastic lifestyle and wellbeing program where we do things from concerts, bus outings, bingo, through to the Xbox Connect, learning how to use the iPad, all sorts of fun things we have happening for our residents.
Oh, it looks really good. So how do we get involved with this?
Well, if you're thinking about looking at an aged care home for one of your loved ones, you would start with the My Aged Care website. Yep. They've got a website and a 1-800 number that people can have a look at, and that's got all the information. Or you could ring our customer support team, who are there to guide people through the process.
So how would I know if my grandma's sort of ready for aged care?
Often a family might notice that their loved one's health might be declining. They might be feeling a bit isolated if they're living at home after a sort of a busy life. It can be a bit lonely if you're on your own at home.
Yeah, I noticed, like, you know, a lot of people, they're mixing, they're having fun.
Yeah, and we talk about how we work in partnership with carers and families to help them with their loved one. We also work with their GPs and allied health people. So we talk about building a circle of support around people and taking away the hard aspects of caring from families so that they can enjoy the lovely times with their loved one. Yeah. Coming in, doing some of the activities, going for a coffee, just really nurturing those relationships, and we do the hard work.
So I guess, you know, considering my grandma going to aged care, cost is something that we do consider. How does it work?
When people move into a residential aged care home, they pay what's called a refundable accommodation deposit, a RAD, and rooms are priced individually, and it depends on the location of the home and the style of accommodation. But we sort of say to people, you're not just paying for the room, you're paying for the use of the whole home, and as you'll see from Scenic Lodge, there's beautiful communal areas, lounges, activities. So we want people to enjoy the whole of Scenic Lodge, the outdoor areas, as well as just their room.
Well, I'm pretty excited to have a look around. I noticed the Xbox happening upstairs, so might go check that out as well.
Yep, definitely. You'll love that, Craig.
Well, Kylie, thanks for having us on the show.
Thank you.
It's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Well, I still have a lot of freedom.
Yep.
Everybody is so friendly, including the residents.
I really am very, very happy here. It's a home from home.
Let's talk the all-important sofa. It's a big investment and one that you don't want to rush. Today, Chris and I will give you a few things to consider first.
It pays to carefully think through the size of your sofa. Make sure you measure up your entire space, including the heights of any windows, stairwells or doorways, to make sure your sofa actually fits in the room.
Something else to consider before your big investment of purchasing a sofa is, have you got room to move? Chris and I, in the past, have used masking tape on the floor and worked out where the high traffic areas were, just to make sure it fits.
Be sure to consider the space between your sofa and other items of furniture in the house. Is it close enough to the coffee table? Are you far enough away from the TV? And more importantly, is it wide enough to lay down and have a sleep on?
Another thing to consider is if you would like springs in your sofa to prevent sagging over time. Or do you need a recliner that can lay down whilst watching TV and then tuck away when you have guests?
Finding the perfect sofa is more than just size. The sofa needs to match the style with the rest of your home. It's no good having an older style sofa with a modern apartment. That's all for today, guys. Best of luck picking your sofa, and we'll see you next time.
Back with us on Location Lifestyle Living, we have Olivia from Heritage Gardens. How are you?
Great to be back.
Now, Olivia, over the years, I think the 80s and the 90s gave native plants an absolute bad rep.
It's true, but I'm really seeing this turn around with native gardens.
So you reckon they're on their way back?
On their way back. And, you know, today there are so many varieties available that are actually really beautiful.
And most importantly, meant for our climate.
Meant for our climate. We're going through such a dry few years that natives have really had a resurgence in popularity.
Now, I can't stop touching this. It looks like it's candy. Can you tell me a bit more about this one?
It's so beautiful. This is your Geraldton wax. So
wow.
Very popular in cut flowers.
Yes.
But just a great gap-filling shrub in your garden. Grows to about 2 metres.
Okay.
By 1.5 metres wide.
Fantastic.
And adds colour to your native garden.
And quite a great amount of texture and shape in this one.
Absolutely.
Talk about texture. I actually can't stop touching this one. What is this? It feels remarkable.
It's beautiful. It feels like velvet. So this is known as the woolly bush.
It literally feels like a ball of wool, like Grandma used to crochet with.
It really does. And adding texture and interest into your garden is so important. And this is a great shrub to be able to do just that.
Now, you snuck this beautiful one in down here. This is absolutely divine.
It's a variegated calama, or known as golden veil.
So, gardening 101 here for me, Olivia. Can we mix these up with non-natives? If I went, I absolutely love this delicate little beauty, can I pop that in as a border with non-natives?
You can definitely do so,
okay.
But always check with one of your expert horticulturalists just when it comes to feeding and companion planting.
Okay, just to make sure that this isn't with, for example, a very drought tolerant or a very needy rainforest plant.
Exactly right.
Plant it with a friend.
Give it some friends.
All right, do you have one last one for me?
I do have, based on this beautiful little flower that you can see on this Phillips. It's all about the flowers on this one and how beautiful it can really be. So you can see that natives no longer need to be boring. You can really have a pretty native garden.
So no longer do natives need to be dusty and dead.
Absolutely
not.
I
love it. Thank you so much, Olivia.
My pleasure.
Don't go anywhere. We have lots of exciting things for you after the break on Location Lifestyle Living.
Hey guys, here I am with charismatic NBN News sports presenter Sam Jordan. Sam, great to have you on the show.
Rosie, welcome to Caves Beach.
It's absolutely fantastic here. You know, I've been down here a few times over the years, being a Newcastle native, but Caves Beach, a local, tell us what life is like here.
It's been incredible. You can't really tell, I guess, from the weather today. We haven't been too lucky, but Caves Beach for me has always been a natural playground, whether it's the ocean or the national parks that stretch down to Catherine Hill Bay. For me, growing up, my life revolves around the outdoors, and I think it's had a pretty big role in shaping who I am today.
Well, obviously you're not just talk the talk, you walk the walk as a sportsman. So what are you, skiing, surfing, what did you do here?
Yeah, I guess my connection to the ocean kind of started when I was pretty young here at Caves Beach Surf Lifesaving Club.
Yep.
I did nippers and, you know, on the beaches behind me, many days kind of spent here and years growing up surfing and the like. And naturally that progressed into a bit of Ironman racing and then into the kayak as well. And I still do a bit of kayak racing, like you mentioned. Which, yeah, it's always been something for me that I've loved doing, and with work kind of getting busier and busier, it's always something that I kind of come to for a bit of a break. And just to kind of get back to basics. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything.
Well, you've got a pretty good setup here in Caves Beach. Tell us about some of the things you like to do around here with your friends.
Yeah, I guess like I mentioned, it all kind of revolves around the ocean. So a typical day off will kind of involve waking up and probably a kayak session in the morning and maybe a run through the national park or something like that. And then it's kind of checking the surf. So there's a few lookouts that we check, a few secret spots that I won't give away too much today. But yeah, and then if there's not much going on there, maybe up to one of the cafes up the road. Boffy is one of the local picks, and but even so, that whole area up at Caves Beach now is developing so quickly. We're seeing new cafes and restaurants open. Even in my short lifetime, I guess it is changed so much.
Well, anywhere near water, especially in regards to property, it just booms, and you know, this whole area is just booming as well. So we're seeing a lot of businesses developing, we're seeing a lot of more people coming in, people from Sydney moving up. Do you see that yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Even in the last few years, we've seen the development on the side of the old Mawson Hotel, which I can imagine you've been there once or twice.
I've played there many times in the past, yeah.
Yeah, so the Mawson's given way, and the Caves Beach Hotel is now down the road on the water at Hams Beach.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a high-rise kind of go up there, townhouses on the side of the old Mawson, and it is kind of developing and taking that next step. You know, Caves Beach is a suburb that gets really busy over summer. We see plenty of tourists come in, but now we're starting to see that kind of stretch year round a little bit too.
But great to see some infrastructure as well and make life a lot easier for a local to live.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Boffy was the first cafe that opened in Caves Beach only a few years ago, and you know, it kind of has been so successful that they're seeing another one pop up now. So it's a bit of a weird feeling actually not having to drive down to Swansea or even Belmont to kind of go to a restaurant or a cafe. It's yeah, it's all happening here in Caves Beach.
So life's getting a lot easier. So being on the news, I guess you have lots of different things happen. Is there anything like that's crazy happens just before you go on to air or while you're on there where you could hardly keep a straight face?
Oh, yeah, that happens a fair bit. Working in the news studio is so much fun with Paul and Tash and Gav especially as well. You know, we all have so much fun together, and we're constantly making jokes and cracking jokes, which, you know, I can imagine for our director it gets a little bit painful at times because we have to kind of switch on a little bit. But I guess that's the thing for me doing sport is that, and probably the thing that I love most about it is that, you know, I love sport, and at the end of the day, you know, the worst thing that kind of happens in sport is, you know, winning and losing. So it is something that, you know, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of and not take too seriously. So yeah, it is a lot of fun.
And Sam, is it true that you just wear boardies and thongs, you know, through the day with your jacket up top?
Well, you know what? It's actually in summer I'll be lucky to have a pair of thongs on as well. Especially when, you know, we're doing events like Surf Fest. I'll run back in from the beach and just kind of get half dressed up top, and I guess have boardie and sand on my feet. Normally cop a spray for walking sand through the studio, but look, that can be our little secret.
Well, we will keep it a secret for sure. Sam, great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Welcome to Caves Beach.
Oh, love the place.
Phillips head or flathead? What's the difference? Why do we have the two? Well, the flathead is a remnant of the past, but you will still find it in use today, particularly if you're renovating older style houses. Flathead screws, pretty popular back then, so you'll still need your flathead screwdriver set to remove those flathead screws out of the hinges and door hardware normally that you're probably going to have. Otherwise, just use it to open the paint tin. The Phillips head screwdriver, 99% of your fixings today are going to be Phillips head. Self-centering, generates a lot more torque on the screw, and also doesn't allow the screw head to pop out, the screwdriver to pop out and skewer off into your paintwork or your metalwork or whatever you're fixing to. So in a nutshell, 99% of the time you'll need this one, but you need to keep these handy anyway. Hope that helps. See you next week.
Here with me now, I have Jess from The Grateful, an amazing new concept store in Carrington. Welcome to the show, Jess.
Thanks, Naomi. Welcome to the shop.
It's an amazing space. So tell me about the concept behind The Grateful.
Okay, so we're a one-for-one pay it forward business, and a lot of people go, what does that mean?
All right, spell that one out for me.
So how I like to explain it is for example, you buy a flower posy through us.
Okay.
For yourself or someone else.
Yep.
What we do is do up another one on your behalf at the end of the week, and we pay that forward forward to either the John Hunter Hospital
Wow.
or Ronald McDonald House, and then we send you an email that has some pictures and a story and feedback.
So I get to see who got the posy?
Yes, yeah.
That is literally like you're paying it forward for me.
Exactly.
And so you've talked about the posies. What about all the other amazing things in this store?
Yes, so there's lots of beautiful things in here, Naomi, but how I like to describe the store is we're not actually selling those items, we're selling a feeling, the feeling that people get from giving, and how that works with everything else in store is when you buy, for example, say a $50 shirt from us, we take $2 out of our profit and pay it forward to Got Your Back Sister on your behalf, and then that $2 then helps fund a self-defence class from a woman from domestic violence or in refuge or on the streets that couldn't afford to do that class otherwise. So basically how we work it is everywhere from $0 to $25 we take $1. When it hits 25 to 50 it's $2 in those increments out of our profit and pay it forward.
How did you come up with it and why did you start this?
Yes, so I went to Africa on a bit of a sabbatical a couple of years ago and I visited a clinic in Malawi with concrete dirt walls and people on their deathbed, nothing to look at. And I thought it'd be so simple just to bring a colourful print and give them something to look at.
Sprinkle some light.
Exactly. And then I came home and decided, well, why not do it here in our own backyard? So one of my girlfriends, Jem, who I have the store with, along with Amy, she wanted to do coffee and flowers. So I approached her about uniting.
Said, I have this idea.
Yes. Can we do flowers in the store to pay forward to the John Hunter Hospital and spread some magic here? So she obviously ate up the idea and it sort of gravitated from there.
You are literally the enabler and the facilitator for all these Novocastrians to feel good about what they're doing.
Yeah, well the concept to me too is that gratitude is all about perspective, and that's what happened with me coming back from Africa. And today when we're disconnected and feeling a bit down, the quickest way to feel good is to give. Yes, and the most sustainable way to maintain that is through gratitude. So that basically is the concept for the grateful.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Jess. Like I absolutely adore this concept. I love it.
Thank you.
It's been
an absolute pleasure. Thanks,
awesome having you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for today on Location Lifestyle Living. If you'd like to join the team, check out our website, or to catch up on an episode, head to 9 Now. We'll see you next week.